So we'll see how things go. Should be fun. Be a good show to watch. But now that Chris had mentioned that, I double checked a couple things. And it looks like I might have been having some audio trouble, which is wonderful. So people have been listening to me talk and not hearing me at all for the last hour, probably. So, well, that sucks. Good old technical difficulties. I thought I checked everything before this started, but obviously that was not the case. Um, so now I feel dumb, but hey, that's what happens when you start these things up again. But it is what it is. But we're here finally. 48 minutes into the show. People probably can now hear me. Oh well. It is what it is. But going over a whole lot of a whole lot of the show that probably nobody heard. Um Now that people can finally hear me. My name is Scott. I am 1/3 of ATR is War. Um, your current Bedlam Media Pick'em champion. Yeah, see now Chris can hear me. Thank you for letting me know. Um, so I apologize now for everybody just watching me move my head around and make arm movements and not realize that my volume wasn't on. So yeah, but so we're here, our second um, Saturday night's main event. It's been a damn good show so far. We're getting ready to go into the contract signing between Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens for their ladder match for the Undisputed WWE Championships and the Winged Eagle title. Shawn Michaels, our moderator for this. We've had two matches so far. We had Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax for the Women's World Championship, with Rhea retaining, and Braun Breaker retaining the Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus. So it's been pretty good so far. We'll see what happens going forward for the rest of the evening. We still have Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu in a singles match, and then our main event is probably going to be Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. Chris saying that they need to make a new belt combining the two. Which one are you talking about? The Undisputed WWE Championship and the Winged Eagle title? Because I think that would be a good idea. I'm just tired of the Billboard titles. And I want them to have titles that, yes, they'll have the WWE mark on it, the logo on it, but it doesn't need to take up the whole damn thing. KO with a shirt that says Cody sucks eggs. All right. All right. Jesus Christmas. At least I realized something with the audio issue I was having, that normally YouTube will put closed captions. So I'm hoping that during the first hour you can at least read what I was saying during the show. If not, again, apologies. Good old technical difficulties. It's always a fun time. Restream has a wonderful way of being able to periodically just reset my audio settings so it was going somewhere else and not my microphone. So I'm just sitting here flapping my gums for an hour and nobody was able to hear me. So, Chris, again, thank you for pointing that out. I thought I had verified everything. Everything looked like it was working well, but obviously that wasn't the case. But that problem is solved. I will do a better job on Monday to make sure that everything sounds good going forward, so that we don't run into this problem yet again. But again, thank you for those who are in watching this show with me. Again, my name is Scott. I am 1/3 of ATR's War and your man behind social media for Above the Ring. Sean's on the wrong side of this table. He needs to be in between these men because they're going to start fighting. Ooh, Sean bringing out his dad voice. Of course, KO is not going to sign. Not yet. Got something to say first. Shocker. Cody taking no bullshit tonight. I love these two. It's a very good segment. Ooh. Ooh. What are you doing, Sean? Ooh. Okay. Kevin taking shots at everybody. Oh boy. Jesus Christ. Whoa. Oh, we're gonna do the raising of the titles, aren't we? Yes, we are. I really hope that this means they're gonna have a new title and get rid of the yellow title. Uh-oh. 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 We're gonna get it. Super kick. uh, a super kick from Shawn Michaels. All is right in this world. Not to mention Cody got one in there too. Kay was gonna try to do a package pile driver to Shawn Michaels, and oh man, I know it's fan service because they're in San Antonio, but hey, it's nice to see HBK still kicking people in the face. Most intriguing match of the night for me. Up next, Braun Strowman, Jacob Fatu, singles match, Monster Among Monsters versus Samoan Werewolf. I fully see Jacob Fatu winning this match. This would be his coming out party, I would say, in the um, singles domain, because obviously, Braun's a monster, literally and figuratively. Man's a giant, but the things that Jacob Fatu can do, my goodness. So we'll see how this match goes over. Chris with another chat stating, meanwhile, over on AEW, they have the cast, they have the Costco guys. Hey, no shade on them. AEW is doing their thing. I have my thoughts and opinions on it, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm glad that they've done pretty decently with the Costco guys. What's his name had a match against QT Marshall, did pretty good. Even though he hadn't been in the ring in 20 something years, QT made him look good. So hey, if it's a partnership that they're going to go, I can do what they want to do with it. It is what it is. I've missed Pat saying that. One big SOB. He didn't say the full thing because NBC probably get mad at him for it. But if that was on Netflix, he'd say it. But Strowman's on SmackDown, obviously with um, Jacob Fatu, Tamatonga, Solo Sequoia. They're not calling themselves the Bloodline anymore. I don't know what they're going to call themselves now, but that has changed since the last time. Actually, since the first episode of Raw when Solo lost the Tribal Combat to Roman Reigns. So we'll see what happens. But this is another rumor that I hopefully comes true. Chris stating that Aleister Black possibly coming back. He has been written off of AEW. The House of Black have said that now their voice is silent and they will continue on by themselves. I guess they're all going to bark together or whatever. I wish them all the best. I've made it very vocal in the past how I felt about Malachi's Black's usage in AEW. When he left WWE, he had just had a stellar run in NXT, and then once he got to the main roster, Vince just didn't know what to do with him. which unfortunately was true of a lot of NXT talent. The biggest blunder I feel like would be the Ascension. They were absolute monsters in NXT. They come up to the main roster and they're immediately turned into a comedy act. And it's like, really? You got to turn them into a comedy act when they were the most dominant NXT tag team in history at the time. And honestly, looking back at it, I'd probably say they're still at least in the top 5 of all time tag teams in NXT. So I don't know. But now, obviously, now with Triple H being in charge of things, he knows his NXT kids. He helped make them into the superstars that they were in NXT. And now that he's in charge of, all the storylines and whatnot, I'm hoping that if he does return, I think it'd be great if he returned at the Rumble. I don't know the status of his contract, so he might be just sitting at home for months before he's able to be a free agent, or his deal might already be done and he could reappear. I made the comment in our group chat, the ATR group chat, that I think it'd be great if Johnny Gargano came out at 1, and that we would maybe expect one of the Motor City Machine Guns to come out at 2, but it would be Aleister Black making his return with his old theme song and everything else. And I think that would be great. It would harken back to the NXT feud that they had. And I think that'd be fun because 1 and 2 in the Rumble are always normally tied together in some form or fashion from either a previous storyline or a current storyline or something. So I think that would be a very fun way to reintroduce Aleister Black into the WWE. Like I said, whether that happens or not, I don't know. Stay tuned for ATR's Royal Rumble Pick Show, which is going to be coming out this Friday or upcoming Friday. Because the Royal Rumble, folks, it's coming. It's coming. It is on the 1st of February, which again is still weird saying that it's in February for forever. It's been in January. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Ethan, Sam, and I are going to be talking about our picks for the Rumbles, who we think might return, who's going to win the title matches. It's going to be good. So stay tuned for that. It'll be live on YouTube and on all streaming platforms before the Premium Live event on Saturday. I'm so happy they let Jacob Fatu talk more because this man can. His promo skills are an A plus. Chris coming in with his picks, thinking it'll be Punk or Cena to win the Rumble. 2 very possible opportunities. I have a theory, but I'm not going to talk about it here. I'm going to talk about it on the podcast for the pick show because I don't want the boys to get a leg up on what I think is going to happen at the Rumble because it's worth a championship point. So, we gotta keep our secrets a little close to the vest. But stay tuned. I have a very plausible a plausible route for someone to win this Rumble. I'm also fully under the belief that Jacob Fatu will be a champion by the end of this year and a heavyweight champion before the end of 2026. He just has it. Like, people were already upset that Solo was in charge when Jacob came in because of how much better Jacob is on the mic and just the aura that he brings to his matches. And I think Solo's done a great job, but I completely agree with everybody saying that Jacob Fatu is by far the more charismatic out of the two. Fatu also rocking the NWO Wolfpack colors tonight. Ooh, I wonder how Jacob's going to do in the Rumble this year. I feel like he's going to go on a massive run, eliminating a lot of people, and then I don't know who he's going to get eliminated by, but I can guarantee whoever that's going to be his WrestleMania opponent. Because there's no way in hell that man does not get a match at Mania. Whether it's a six man with Tama and Tongaloa, or if it's I don't think it'll be like an 8-man match because I think Solo's going to be doing his own thing as well. Maybe Solo's the one who eliminates him. Who knows? It's very interesting. WWE has a lot of talent that are right there. They're right on that precipice of getting to the next level. And the Rumble is a great, if they do it the right way, it's a great launching pad for somebody's career. So I can think of 5 people that can immediately have this launch their career into the next stratosphere. But we'll see what they do. But I'm looking forward to it. The Rumble, like I said, is by far my favorite premium live event that WWE does. I love Mania. I've been to multiple Manias. I've been to, I believe, one Rumble when it was in Boston, back when it was the 40-man Rumble. So for me, it was great because I got to see an extra 10 entrances. And almost the greatest winner of all time in Santino Marella, before unfortunately Alberto Del Rio ended up getting the win. What another what if he wasn't such a piece of garbage human being, he probably could have been one of the best, Mexican wrestlers to ever, live. But, he's a trash human being and unfortunately gets blackballed. Well, fortunately gets mostly blackballed like he should, because yeah, good people don't deserve to get bookings. So it is what it is. That's just my opinion anyways. But yeah, I love the Rumble. It's always one of my favorites. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens. I always feel like the Rumble goes by too fast too. Like I want it to drag out. It's one of those matches. I know it's going to be at least 55 to an hour long, if not a little bit longer. But it's one of those matches I just want to watch forever. It's so much fun to me, especially when you get that nice surprise. Actually, take it back. I've been to multiple Rumbles because one of the other Rumbles I went to was in Philly when Bubba Ray Dudley came out at number 3, and the whole place I thought was going to blow the entire roof off. I know it's cliche, people say that, but being in the area, being in the arena, listening to the reaction to hearing the Dudley Boy theme happen and you see him walk out, it's like, my God, it's insane. So I wonder who's going to get that monstrous pop during either the men's or the women's. Obviously, as what happened on Friday on SmackDown, Charlotte Flair has officially returned via promo segments and has entered herself into the Women's Royal Rumble. So Charlotte's name immediately rises to near the top of who could possibly win the Rumble. But like I said, we're gonna have ourselves a pick show later this week, going into, or I should say next week, going into the Rumble. Sam, Ethan, and myself will be giving our picks, talking about the show, talking about the matches, who might return, who's gonna win. It's gonna be good. Make sure you guys watch on YouTube and listen to us on all podcast platforms. And we've gotten into this match. It's a little bit more 50-50. Braun had a nice run in the beginning, but now Jacob seems to be slowly wearing him down. And of course, as I say that, Braun starts going back on the offensive. So, I mean, that's an option. I don't like it, but it is an option. If Cody loses on Sunday, he can come in and win the Rumble for the third time in a row. I don't know if they'd pull that. I think it would be. I don't know. I don't think Cody needs to be in the main event picture at WrestleMania if he's not going to be the champion. He can still have a really good match, but we'll see. Jesus, Strowman just absolutely destroying Jacob Fatu, throwing him over the announce table, which has been reinforced since they've gone on Netflix. And I like the new one, although I feel like that might have been made for Randy Orton, since his ongoing feud with the commentary table has lasted at least, I don't know, 15 years at this point. But yeah, it's like triple reinforced, and it just looks mean. So if somebody is able to break that thing, they're gonna hurt, and it might be one of these two gentlemen. So who knows? Jacob Fatu has finally turned the tide and now has taken over this matchup, just constantly doing hip attacks in the corner. I think it's like 5 or 6 at this point. He just keeps annihilating Braun Strowman. Braun's like, I want to go to sleep. I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, don't do it. Oh, well, that's going to be disqualification. Jacob Fatu throwing the ref out of the ring. When he comes up for air, that's going to be the end of this match. There it is. That's unfortunate. I'd hoped that I'd hoped that they'd give Jacob the win here, but doing this is a way to keep Braun strong enough, even though he got thoroughly dominated in the back half of this matchup. But the fans chanting "Ref, you suck," which, I get it. You got to follow the rules, folks, but they want to see these two men beat the ever living snot out of one another. And yeah. Fatu has a chair, threw it in the ring, and let's see if someone's going to come out and save Strowman besides the officials. Oh, God. Someone just got an unprotected chair shot to the face. Well, that's a fine. Oh, Jesus. Braun bleeding. Very interesting. Even with all the officials there, Jacob's still going flying. Here we go. Jacob's moonsault from the top is insanity. I love it. Easy. Thanks, my guy, for showing up. Appreciate it. Just having some fun over here, talking about Saturday night's main event. Some absolute destruction happening in this ring currently. So appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much. Oh, yet another. Jacob Fatu should not be moving like the way he does. Strowman looks rough. He's definitely obviously bleeding from the mouth, and they got the officials out there and the doctors, and if they're not going to give Jacob the win in this match, then this is definitely a win in my book. Oh, but he's not done yet. There's going to be a third. I feel like maybe he's trying to compete with a certain tsunami. Drops by. Jesus. Man is beat up. See, even with Solo losing the tribal combat, this is how you keep this rendition of whatever they're going to call themselves now that it's not the bloodline strong. Jacob's going to be, like I said before this match started, I could easily some type of champion in 2025 and world heavyweight champion by the end of 2026. I hands down, I can, I can almost guarantee it. It's as close of a guarantee as I can probably make on this show. But we've gone into our next commercial break, and up next, it's our main event. Gunther and Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm wondering if we'll get the Body once again on commentary, if we're just going to have Cole and Pat McAfee just continue rocking things like they have been. It's going to be good stuff. So how do you guys like the show so far? I think it's been pretty good. I gave my thoughts on the first two matches, but of course, technical difficulties, nobody could hear me. Oops, these things happen. But thankfully that's been fixed. Chris, once again, thank you for letting me know that there was a problem. But yeah, I feel like this has been a very successful show so far. We're going obviously the 2-hour mark from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. So we got about a half an hour left. We still have the entrances to come out. So I would think this match will probably go 15 to 18 minutes, which is pretty good for a main event. I fully expect Gunther to retain, but Jey Uso is going to have this crowd in an absolute frenzy once he comes out and it's time to eat. So, yeah. Beezy saying Gunther should win. I do agree. I think he should. I think he will. But it is nice though to see Jey Uso getting in there and getting himself a opportunity to to vie for the heavyweight title. Oh, and BZ making a Rumble prediction saying Randy Orton will come back and win the Rumble. I think that would be good. That'd be a nice surprise as well to have him return. And obviously, this man is in love with Randy Orton, so obviously that makes the most sense. I mean, if you want to talk Rumble and Randy returning, this could definitely be a way to set up the final match at Mania for Randy versus John Cena. The matches that these men have had with one another over the years, when people used to call it, like when John Cena would terrorize everybody for like 3 or 4 years, and he would always have the title regardless. Things that Triple H used to do way back in the day. I think it'd be a nice fitting end at a Mania to see Randy Orton and John Cena go one-on-one one more time. Either that or have Randy be the very last match that Cena has in December of 2025. But just Cena being in the Rumble this year is also very, very great. Try to think of another word for it, but great is just, it's just people call him the GOAT, and he's definitely up there. I don't know if I'd personally call him the greatest wrestler of all time. Definitely top 5, definitely maybe top 3, but I don't know. I think that's an episode for ATR back. Talk to all the boys, and maybe we'll give our top 5s all time, and maybe top 10s. Who knows? But more content, it's always a good thing. So we'll see. But this year will be special with Cena. Obviously, he's going to be at Elimination Chamber. He's going to be at the Rumble. He's going to be at some other shows, obviously, as the year goes on. And of course, BZ coming in, see Randy Orton is the GOAT. Well, I mean, he's definitely up there as well. So it's tough. It's tough to really kind of like narrow that down, because you have our current bias of all the people who are wrestling now, but then you go back in time and you look at how wrestling started, and like being on television, and where it kind of went from there. And it's tough to really kind of like narrow it down to like a really good top 5 or even a top 10. Of course, we all have our absolute favorites. So, but I'd make a case for KO being one of the best of all time. I made a case for it when I was younger that Kane was one of the best of all time. Just when I was being as a child. Of course, he has his other things going on in real life that a lot of people are not exactly happy with him about, but separating the political stuff from the wrestling stuff, Kane was up there. Obviously, Taker as well. You have people like Ric Flair. You have Andre the Giant. You have Hulk Hogan, that everybody hates right now for shit that he has said that shouldn't have ever said. But I digress. You have Stone Cold Steve Austin. You have The Rock. You have who else can I think of? People put Roman Reigns in that title after holding that title for 1316 days. Gunther's on his way to being in that list soon if he continues to go. He was ridiculous in the Indies. He had the longest reigning Intercontinental Championship title reign of all time at 666 days, which I still find hilarious at this point. He has been world heavyweight champion, I believe, for over 120 days, maybe 150 at this point. I don't know. There are a lot of names you could throw out there for being like the best of all time, but it's going to be good. So we're talking about, or should I say, they're talking about the Rumble matches. Of course, we have the ladder match between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship, as well as the Winged Eagle title. We have a match between DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns at a 2 out of 3 falls match for the WWE Championship. Of course, the men's match, men's Rumble, women's Rumble. So I don't know. Are we only going to get 4 matches? Triple H bringing iShow Speed to the Rumble next week for backstage access. So, while I'm not a fan of him myself, those of you who are, that's probably going to be some pretty cool stuff to watch. Oh, that's true because it's an indie. I wonder if Pat McAfee's going to bring out some Colts gear. He'd probably still help them win some games because Lord knows they can't do it on their own. Here we go. Here comes Jey Uso. Crowd's about to go nuts. Pat McAfee's about to start jumping on the commentary table again. And for those of you who missed it last week, Michael Cole going absolutely insane doing the yeeting. Poor Wade Barrett. I felt so bad for him. This is why I like Jey Uso. His crowd work is phenomenal. Doing a little yeet with the kid. The kid's gonna remember that forever. No, we just had commercial break. Why are we going to another commercial break? All right. This match is about to get even shorter now. But yeah. Like I said, it's been a good show so far. Thank you guys for watching along. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties during the beginning of the show. My name is Scott. I am 1/3 of ATR's War and your social media guy for all things ATR. We've been talking about Saturday night's main event. Another 4-match show. We had the contract signing also between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, which ended in absolute chaos, which I hoped for. We saw a super kick from Shawn Michaels kicking KO in the face. KO and Cody just phenomenal on the mics. They've done a good job of selling this match since, God, it's been months since, what was it, Backlash? Or, no, it wasn't Backlash. It was maybe it was. When Cody and KO wrestled for the title at first, and KO didn't pull the trigger on attacking Cody when he had his injured leg. And so this, I feel, it will be obviously the payoff to the whole thing. I hope I have a feeling that Cody's going to win, but I would not be upset if they gave this win to KO. I feel like he's definitely deserved another title run after everything that he's been doing, especially after fighting off the bloodline by himself for most of the pandemic era. But yeah. But our main event tonight, Jey Uso challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. We've had Jey Uso make his entrance, and I'm assuming once the commercial break is over, we'll have Gunther, the champion, come out, and then probably have about 15 minutes of them beating the absolute snot out of one another. It's going to be good times. Big Jug making its appearance finally. I've been talking for 2 hours. A little parched, but I promise it's just water. We hydrate in this place. We don't drink the other stuff. We hydrate. It's better for us that way. But for those of you watching, how have you liked the show so far? Let me know. I think it's been one of the good ones. I like I said, that they've brought this back. I hope that it's not going to be a monthly thing. because I feel like the mystique will disappear if it happens too often. I don't remember if they've even announced another or the next Saturday night's main event yet. Maybe they'll do that before the show's over tonight, but we'll see. But so far this year, this one's been pretty good. I'd say it's on par with the first one that we had last month. He's saying it's been good so far in his opinion. I like it. It's good. It's good. I agree. So hopefully this main event will continue to wrap a nice little bow on the show. I feel like it will because it's Gunther and it's Jey Uso. It's gonna be good. I do like the fact that they've continued to bring back the very thin entrance ramp or entrance way because it's not a ramp. Um, and how all the heels. Oh, it's 175 days. I wasn't unsure how long Gunther's reign has been. 175 days so far. But going back to what I was saying, the very thin rampway, and how all the heels are like avoiding everybody's touch, or somebody touches them, they sick the two security guards behind them on them, and yeah, it's just the little details. It just makes the show that much better. Lillian needs to give a second or two after the one fall because the crowd needs to say it. It just has to happen. And once again, we get that AK camera action going on. And I had mentioned this during the first match of the night when nobody could hear me, that I love the fact that they brought back the old school um, microphone setup, bringing down the whole thing and showing what the show is and allowing the announcer to talk to it that way instead of holding onto a modern day microphone. So I really appreciate the nice retro vintage touch that they put on this show. Of course, obviously the refs being in the old traditional Saturday night's main event attire. I've really enjoy the new um attire that they have for Raw and SmackDown. The black shirts with the nice stripe and the WWE logo. It's good that we've evolved from the old zebra outfit. You know, it's modern, it's sleek, it's nice, it's good. It goes well with the new era of WWE. So, but having nights like this with the old school stuff, it just fits. But our main event is underway, and this will be roughly 15 to 18 minutes. So, my initial prediction looks like it's going to stand. Okay. We'll probably get one or two more commercial breaks because they got to pay their bills. But Gunther already chopping the soul out of Jey Uso, so this does not bode well early for the challenger. Oh, nothing will ever like compare to the one picture that's out there years ago when Gunther was fighting Ilya Dragunov for the NXT UK Championship, And there was the one chop when Gunther hit Ilya directly in the chest, and it looked like it caved his entire chest in, and just like the way his skin, the way Ilya's skin like reverberated away from the chop was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. And part of me was like, is this AI? Like, seriously, like this cannot be real. And then I watched the match and like slowed it down around that time. And dear Lord, my God, how did he not like? I don't know. It was insane. But we have some heavy hitters now in the chopping department. I need at some point to see a match between Gunther and Penta. For those of you who ever watched Lucha Underground, this is my, it's my Lucha Underground moment of the night. This is for Ethan and for Sam out there. The running joke that Sam has not watched Lucha Underground, so I've been trying for 5 years now to get him to watch all of Lucha Underground so he can understand just how wonderful that period of time was when Lucha Underground was on television for us to watch and consume. Penta's chops that he used to do in Lucha Underground sounded like gunshots going off. Like it was, yeah. I don't know if it was the audio, if they kind of tweaked it after the fact, but my God, it sounded like the person was going to get his head chopped off. So I want to see a match between Gunther and Penta and just have them chop each other for about 2 minutes. Now, who am I kidding? They're going to do more than just that, but at some point it's going to happen and it's going to be great. I think Penta's been doing a wonderful job since his debut. His match with Gable was outstanding, and his match with Pete Dunne was equally as great. So obviously he's hot. He's on a hot start. We'll see what his next matchup's going to be come this Monday. I'll finally be able to have live reaction to that because I've been out for the last couple of Raws. But my plan, fingers crossed, is that I'll be back in action 8 p.m. Eastern for Netflix for Raw. So we'll start making this whole live streaming thing be more of a regular occurrence. So, but of course, we're more than just a live stream. We're on X, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Threads, we're on pretty much all the social media out there. You could find us by just reading the ticker at the bottom, talking about our four major ones. You can find me on Twitch right now, live streaming at twitch.tv/ScottyJStream. You can find me pretty much everywhere as Scotty J Stream on all streaming platforms. You can find Above the Ring, again, also on YouTube and on all podcast platforms as well. These live shows won't be going up on podcasts, but the weekly ones that we do, those will all be up there for everybody to listen to. These are more just special for, these special events or for going forward for Monday Night Raw. But we're out of hopefully our last commercial break. Continuing our main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Elimination Chamber in Toronto, March 1st, almost a month from now, or a little over a month from now. I'm not too far away from Toronto. So there are thoughts. I don't know if I'll actually go, depending on how work is. But if there's a possibility, maybe. I will not be at Mania this year. Went last year. Last year, 40 was wonderful. Vegas just not in the cards this year. 42, they haven't officially announced yet, but there are hints that they might go to New Orleans. So that might be interesting. I don't know if I'll go to that one, to be honest, either. But we'll see. I don't know. A lot of good stuff going on. Obviously, the Rumble this Saturday in Indy. I don't, not sure where they're gonna have it next year because I think. Oh wait, no, 2026 is I think was the one in Saudi Arabia. I think, or was that 27? I don't know. I'll have to check that out again. But I'd love to go to another Rumble. Um, like I'd mentioned before, Rumbles are my favorite PLEs. I'd love for them to go back to 40 man because that was the first one that I ever went to when Santino Morello almost shocked the entire world before Alberto Del Rio won. Um, but we'll see. I've been to all 5 of the big shows. The last one that I needed was Survivor Series, and I went, when it was in Boston for when they had the first War Games that came back to the main roster. So that was a night that I won't forget. I had such a great time. I did end up going by myself, but I met some friends that were down there that were also going to the show. So we hung out for the majority of it before the show started. And again, I seem to have some good luck with everybody that's sitting around me. Everybody's really cool. We're all having a bunch of good times, and just it's good because I've been to some shows where it's just like the people do not pass the vibe check, and it's like, oh god, I just want to watch the show and just leave me alone. But recently, knock on wood, I've had some good luck. So I hope that continues the next time I go to more of these big shows like this. Jey Uso kicking out of Gunther's powerbomb. That's a pretty big deal. Main event is rolling on. Oh, I knew it. One more commercial break. WWE makes all this money. They're still going to have all these commercials. And of course, I joked about this on the first show on Netflix, but the rest of the world does not get commercials on Netflix. They get interviews, they get backstage stuff. Meanwhile, the rest of everybody watching in the United States gets to watch 2.5 or 3 minutes of commercials that they obviously do not care about, and they want to watch. I love watching the backstage stuff. I'm very thankful for X, for the people that are out there that send um, the videos of the interviews and whatnot, so we can watch them, as the commercials are happening or after the fact. So I do appreciate you guys out there doing the Lord's work and bringing us what's happening backstage, because most of the time that stuff's important, and I feel like the US fans are kind of losing out on some of the intricacies of some of the feuds by not hearing these interviews. So, but I know how this works. You got to pay for, our time. So there's going to be commercials, and it is what it is. It's not like, a DVR or a TiVo, you can just skip all the commercials. Unfortunately, we don't have that option. So we're stuck with it. But other than that, honestly, the Netflix debut of Raw has been pretty flawless. I've had no buffering issues. I know a lot of people were worried when they had the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, when it just was a buffer fest for the entire first 75% of the show. They finally got things working, and it was flawless after I think after the second fight. But Yeah, Raw's had no problems. I haven't seen any issues with it, so I'm glad that that's the case, and it hopefully continues that way. Um, I do like the fact also that you can immediately start the show whenever you are. You don't have to wait until it's over, like Peacock was for the longest time, and actually, I think might actually still be. I've trained myself to make sure I'm live for the show and not watching it after the fact, because in the beginning it was just awful. Um, so I'll be very interested to see how long the Peacock um, contract still has left, and if they move everything over to Netflix like the rest of the world has it. Um, but I feel like we'd probably still have a long time to go before we get to that point. But to have WWE back under one place would be nice. I still do miss the WWE network. Um, I didn't like the fact that they sold it off in the first place. And the rest of the world still got to keep it until this past year. So, but not trying to complain about it, but it's just the unfortunate event. Um, WWE Network was just, it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty damn good. But we are back for our main event. Gunther defending his World Heavyweight Championship versus Jey Uso. Things are starting to speed up. Jey with a huge super kick, but Gunther kicking out at 2. Getting close to the end of this show. So I'm trying to figure out how Gunther is going to end up getting this W. No, no offense to Jey, but Gunther should retain this title. The start time for the Rumble is 6 p.m. Okay. I like that there's continuing that 6 p.m. trend. I wonder if there's a UFC show that's happening later in the night, because I know they've been doing that to to help out them. So I wonder if that's the case again, or maybe that's the new norm. Although with the Rumble, I fully assume that their pre-show is going to start at 4 p.m. Eastern, so that's going to be nuts. And fighting on the top rope. Now Jey getting the advantage, running power bomb, and Gunther kicking out at 2. Woo-hoo-hoo. Jey hitting the spear. Gunther kicking out though. Jey looking for the splash. Ooh. All right. They don't get me to jump often. That was good. That was good. Oh, Jay went for the spear again. Gunther caught him. Double powerbomb. That's the game, folks. Gunther retaining his World Heavyweight Championship in a fantastic main event. Very good show. Gunther retaining his title. Now he too, like whoever wins the WWE Championship, will wait to see what the Rumble winner picks. And I'm assuming the next challenger for the other title will happen at Elimination Chamber when it happens March 1st, live from Toronto, Canada. But as the show wraps up, I just want to thank all you guys once again for showing up, chatting. Apologies once again for the technical difficulties at the beginning of the show. Glad we got all that squared away. So that we can actually talk for the last hour or two or hour and a half of the show. So once again, we'll be back Monday night on Raw. Fingers crossed that everything will be good. I can actually be able to do the show again on Monday. But yeah, tonight's been Saturday night's main event, and that's gonna be it for me tonight. So obviously, if you guys don't already, please follow us on our social media platforms below. You can see the ticker going. We're on X, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, and we're also on other streaming platforms that are out there. Our podcast goes live most Fridays and Mondays. We have a new podcast coming out on Monday talking about our 5th year anniversary, part 2. Sam, myself, and Ethan sitting down to discuss how life's been since Ethan joined the show, us talking about our 5 years being together for Sam and I, and we look forward. Ethan also has, I believe, his top 15 of 2024. It's a very good list. So yeah, check it out. It'll be live Monday morning, bright and early at 4:05 Turner time. But if you don't already, you can follow me everywhere, Scotty J Stream. Like I said, we're on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, and everywhere else. Also, these live streams will be going also on Twitch. You can follow me on twitch.tv/Scotty J Stream. You can follow me also everywhere else as Scotty J Stream, and you can follow Above the Ring at most places. But that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching, for chatting, for just being awesome. So hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you guys on Monday. Most importantly, do not forget to join the Bedlam. Have a good night.